Money, we use it every single day, but have you ever stopped to wonder where it actually came from? It's a wild journey that takes us from trading cows and grain all the way to digital coins and Bitcoin. This is the fascinating story of how money began, how it keeps evolving. A long, long time ago, before coins, cash, or credit cards even existed, people simply traded goods directly. This was the age of barter. A farmer with a surplus of wheat might trade it for some beautifully crafted pottery. A hunter could exchange fresh meat for woven cloth. It sounds simple, but this barter system had a massive flaw, what economists call the double coincidence of wants. Imagine you're a skilled carpenter who makes fantastic chairs. You need bread to eat, but the baker doesn't need a chair. He needs new shoes. Now you have to find a shoemaker who not only wants a chair, but is also willing to trade shoes for it. It was inefficient and complicated. People quickly realized they needed something everyone would accept as valuable, a universal symbol of exchange. This led to the rise of commodity money. Communities started using specific objects that everyone agreed had value. Depending on where you lived, this could be anything from cowrie shells and blocks of salt to precious metals like gold and silver, or even rare, beautiful stones. These items were more portable and divisible than a cow, but they still weren't perfect. Then, around 600 BC, a game-changing innovation appeared in the ancient kingdom of Lydia, which is in modern-day Turkey. They created the world's first metal coins. These coins, made from a natural gold and silver alloy called electrum, were stamped with a royal mark like a lion's head. This stamp was a guarantee of the coin's weight and authenticity. For the first time, value was standardized and trusted, not just traded. The idea was revolutionary, and it spread like wildfire across the ancient world. Fast forward a few centuries, and another world power, China, was about to change everything again with the invention of paper money. Carrying heavy sacks of coins was a hassle, especially for merchants traveling long distances. The Chinese government began issuing paper notes as a promise to pay the holder a certain amount of metal coins. It was lightweight, convenient, and a massive leap forward. When European travelers like Marco Polo visited China, they were stunned by this money made of paper and brought the concept back with them. By the 1600s, Europe was catching on. Private banks began issuing their own paper notes as receipts for the gold and silver people deposited with them for safekeeping. Slowly, these paper receipts started circulating as a form of money themselves. People trusted the bank's promise to redeem the note for gold. Money was officially shifting from being a physical object with intrinsic value, like gold, to a symbol of trust. As global trade expanded, banks became the new power centers of the financial world. Governments stepped in to regulate them, creating central banks to issue and manage national currencies. For a long time, currencies like the US dollar were on the gold standard, meaning you could, in theory, exchange your paper money for a fixed amount of gold, but by the 20th century, most countries had abandoned the gold standard. Money was no longer backed by a physical commodity, but by the full faith and credit of the government that issued it. We call this fiat money. It has value simply because the government says it does, and we all agree to accept it. Then, the digital revolution hit. Computers and the internet transformed money once again. Plastic credit and debit cards started replacing cash. Online payment systems like PayPal made it possible to send money across the globe in seconds. Mobile banking put a full-service bank right in our pockets. Money was becoming invisible, a series of ones and zeros flying through cyberspace. But this new system wasn't without its problems. The 2008 global financial crisis shook public confidence. People began to question the stability and trustworthiness of the very banks and institutions that controlled their money. This crisis set the stage for the next great disruption. In 2009, a mysterious anonymous person or group known as Satoshi Nakamoto released a white paper introducing Bitcoin. It was the world's first decentralized digital currency. There were no banks, no governments, and no central authority in control. Bitcoin runs on a groundbreaking technology called the blockchain, a public, distributed ledger that is transparent and secure. For the first time in history, money was based on cryptography and code, not on kings or central banks. From the simple act of bartering to the complex code of the blockchain, the story of money is a story of human innovation. It shows our constant search for better, more efficient ways to exchange value. So, what's next? Will it be government-backed digital currencies, new forms of crypto, or something we can't even imagine yet? One thing is for sure, the story of money is far from over. In fact, it's still being written. Thanks for watching. If you found this history of money as fascinating as I do, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next video. See you next time.